that's kind of lifted hugely. It's really appreciated, and thank you for the awesome work you do.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Right.
Cheers.
I'll move 21, Chair, when you...
I'll move. Councillor Philippine will move number 12. And Councillor Simpson will second.
21.
All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against.
Just move 12
carried.
again.
I know it's 21.
21, I think.
And 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done that one. Listen,
A little bit of transposition there.
too much of papers. And now we're on 151. We've done. We'll just do a little double check because we did move things around. Right,
Yeah.
we're done. Aren't we?
Done 21.
I've moved 21, Chair.
And we've done it.
Yeah,
No, we're
that's
all
right.
done. We've put it
Yeah.
where it's gone.
Yep.
So I'm just wondering who is going to move the the exclusion of public.
I'm going to object to going into public exclusion for the item related to the full community facilities. And I mean, I'm happy to talk about why we should at least have part of the discussion in public. And if we do go into a vote, it'll be a divided one.
I think
it's
we
entirely
will
over
just
to you.
all put it to the vote, Councillor Casey.
Well, then I'd like to speak to it.
You're most welcome to speak to it.
Thank you. I'm sure you've all read the pink pages, and you cannot possibly tell me that every word in the pink pages belongs in secret, because it doesn't. And under the Local Government Act, we are meant to be completely accountable and transparent for the decisions we make. And the one that we will make today is an important one because there's 5 options, and I'm not going to break any confidences. There are 5 options, and the public's entitled to know what those 5 options are. None of them need have financial statements next to them, and that's the first thing I would ask. If, Madam Chair, you would take the 5 options out from behind closed doors to put them in the public arena, because that's what I was unable to communicate to my board chair last night. I didn't make the phone call because I couldn't. It was about the force, there's nothing to do with Albert Eden, and yet this decision today could be really central to the future of other facilities in other areas, especially in mine and Christine's.
I'm going to move that, and I'm happy to second that.
Yes, I'm going to move that we at least have part of the discussion, including the 5 options, put into the public arena.
The advice that I have is that this is an in confidence item, that it contains the beginnings of the business case for this, and I don't see how we can unwind the discussion around the options from the numbers involved. I'll just ask Dean for some advice on that.
That's our advice. And Kat, you wouldn't have any different view on that, would you?
The only reason the lawyers advised us to put including the option titles in confidence is because there is very little land in the town centre, and one of the options refers to the town centre, and so it's our ability to negotiate in the future. So that's why some of this information is confidential at this point in time, because of our negotiation positions potentially in the future.
So can I just ask a question of the staff member? If the 5 options were placed in the public arena without any, just the 5 bare options, which is what we're going behind closed doors to discuss, how does that compromise future negotiations? Without the financials?
So the answer to that is not just the financials. We would need to change the naming of some of the options to put them in public. It's because that, so for example, sorry, are we in public excluded?
No, we're not.
So some of the titles for the options are the reasons why the report is in confidence.
And I think,
I'm looking at these options and I completely disagree.
Councillor Casey, just calm down for a moment. What we're looking at here is taking quite a complex set of decisions and trying to move them forward. What we don't want to do with a really big and expensive discussion ahead of us going to the LTP is to compromise our position as a council to actually purchase land in any of these areas. I think that's just completely unacceptable, and to be absolutely honest, this is a regional discussion that needs to be had by a regional group of councillors on a critical regional issue. At this stage, It is not a particular to any individual local board. So, you know, I think we just need to remember what our role around this table is. So I'm going to
Madam
put,
Chair.
just hold on, councillor. I'm going to put this to the vote and you are free to vote against it. I'm not going to accept a separate amendment here because you either agree or you don't agree. There isn't a halfway, let's do a bit of it. So I'm not going to
Madam
accept
Chair?
the amendment.
I'm not wanting to speak to the amendment, but I thought that we had agreed in principle that we were going to try and deal with as many matters in open
Yep.
as possible. Now, that we seem to have fallen into the trap of workshopping everything to death, and that reports are written in such a way that they then must, and, you know, I accept Kat's explanation in terms of the need for confidentiality. What I don't find acceptable is that there wasn't a report in the open agenda saying, in principle, we're prepared to do this. And then in the confidential agenda, we could have gone pardon me, into the detail. So I think that the staff, to a degree, have to accept that, or they need to understand, and as governors, we need to give them the clear direction. Do we want to have discussions in public, or do we want to try and make it easy for ourselves and have it in workshops and bundle it into confidential? There were matters in this report, in the confidential, that could have been dealt with in the open agenda, and we have had we've had cases in the past where we've had, certainly in the appointments committee, we have a matter on the open agenda saying, yes, we're going to appoint a director to water care, and then in the confidential agenda, we'll look at the CVs of the individuals involved in any sensitive information. So I just think it's been sloppy today. I think we can do better. I would like to feel that we can move ahead. It's, you know, you're going to have to move an extension of time very shortly. However, let's learn from these things rather than having everyone feeling exasperated.
So it's Councillor
I don't know.
Fletcher and Councillor Casey, you are exasperated, I hear that. However, I don't accept, on behalf of the staff, that this was sloppy. There's been legal advice that says when we are looking at substantial property purchases that this would involve, we do so in confidence. We don't make it easy for ourselves to go behind closed doors and to have workshops. This committee would probably be the most transparent committee of the lot because we only ever go into confidence to try and save ratepayers' money by getting ahead of the curve. You all tell us that we should be careful about that, and we're being that. On that
Madam
note,
Chair,
I'm going to put
point of order. It is suggested that I did not want it to be suggested that the staff are sloppy. I think
Sorry,
we are
that's what I-
sloppy. In a
that's what I
governance
heard.
sense, we are sloppy
I hear
because
that.
it's up to us to give direction to the staff of what we want.
I do
So
hear-
I had no intention to be disrespectful to staff. I think you misunderstood what I said.
No, I hear that. I'm just speaking on behalf of the staff as they don't often get a chance to speak for themselves. So I'm going to put that recommendation. All those in favour, please say aye.
By division, I asked for, when I made my speech, I said, if you're going to head with the vote, I'd like it by division.
You didn't
Madam
say
Chair, may I ask
divisions.
one question? Can I just clarify? So the reason for confidential is on legal advice. Please confirm.
It is, and we're very,
advice, it's not
we're very, very clear. Remember, we have undertaken in this council to only enter into confidence when it's entirely critical, and it's set out very clearly on page 151. So
Chair, just a point of clarification.
Yes.
So this division is only on C1?
it's only on, do we go into confidence? We may never get there. So let's do it by division.
This is in favour.
Councillor Hall.
Yes.
Member Brown. No, we're here. Councillor Casey.
No.
Councillor Cashmore.
Aye.
Councillor Clow.
Aye.
Councillor Collins.
Against.
Mayor Goff.
In favour.
Councillor Filipino.
Aye.
Councillor Fletcher.
Can't walk and chew gum at the same time, mate.
Councillor Hills.
Yes, thank you.
Councillor Newman.
Against.
Councillor Simpson.
For based on legal advice.
It's not legal.
Councillor Stewart.
Or
Councillor Wayne Walker.
No.
Councillor Watson gone. Was a no for Wayne Walker. Member Wilcox.
No. There's not many of us here.
8. It is carried 8-6.
Okay, all right, thank you. So we'll just take a moment.